Artis Media is a company, a social business that has been set up to inspire primary school children by bringing creative learning into the classroom. It's working alongside the traditional curriculum and is benefiting tens of thousands of children. Joining us from Artis Media is Cordelia Gold this morning. Thanks for joining us, Cordelia.
Good morning. Good morning.
Well, Artis then is something very, very different, isn't it, to the world of the classroom, because it's not just sitting at tables and chairs. This is about bringing learning to life. Tell us how that happens.
Yes. So we work in a huge amount of schools across the country, in Greater London, Greater Manchester, Leeds, Bradford, Cheshire, reaching about 25,000 children per week. We have artist specialists who work with us and deliver a creative curriculum in primary schools. So usually we work on an ongoing basis with primary schools, so a specialist might work in a school with a class, say year 5, and that would be for the whole of the year. So they will see those children every week, delivering a holistic curriculum of a combination of music, dance and drama.
And are the children enjoying it? Do you find that they're apprehensive to get involved, or actually that it's a huge success and they love it?
I'd say it's a huge success and they love it. There's always enjoyment there. I think every child has a natural creativity and an enthusiasm. It's our job to tap into that and to bring it out, and we really find that happens in the work we do.
Sorry, let me just correct my introduction there. It's Artis Education,
yes,
isn't it? Sorry, yeah. We've got the website address as well available, artiseducation.com. Now this is funded by the local authorities and the schools themselves, isn't it? So this is a completely new approach to learning. This is the same budgets that they would spend on equipment and books for the schools, but this is actually bringing the Artis Education mentors in and teachers to really focus the children's attention, and it works with particular types of children very well, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. We work in a whole range of schools, so all the inner city schools, rural schools, we have a couple of prep schools. We also work in special schools as well with children with learning and disabilities and physical disabilities. So yeah, we can reach all different types of children, and often, you know, you might find that with children in a, you know, particularly challenging school, one of the real benefits of Artis might be to help improve behaviour management, listening, cooperation, teamwork, confidence, those sort of things, as well as delivering the creative curriculum in line with what they're doing in the classroom.
Do you think you can help bring something that perhaps the teachers themselves struggle with because they have an incredible workload? Yeah. Obviously they've got a huge class to manage and it can be quite difficult. Do you think you're bringing something that perhaps otherwise is overlooked?
Yes, definitely, and that's usually why head teachers are keen to bring us into their schools. Obviously primary teachers have to be a jack of all trades and they have to be a master of all of them. They have to teach everything. And they might not be confident doing singing with their class, they might not be confident leading their class in role play or movement activities. So it's a really good opportunity for them to have a specialist in that area. It might be a specialist whose real specialism is dance, it might be a circus performer, there might be an opera singer, but they bring those skills in and all the training that they've had through Artis. Yes, so often the teachers don't have the time or the confidence to teach those things in the classroom, and that's where we fit in.
Give us, if you will, just a small example of how you would bring a certain subject to life. We talked beforehand about certain characters in history, but tell us how practically it really brings the curriculum to life.
So there's lots of different ways you can do it. Obviously the curriculum topics could be anything from the Tudors or Victorian times to healthy teeth, rainforest, you know, it can be anything that they're covering in the classroom, and we'll try and cover it in our sessions. So you might once did a thing with on Dr. Bernardo with a class, and we did a whole sort of House of Commons debate. A lot of that involved sort of role play and improvisation on their part, which they performed. We performed it to parents. So there was a lot of work there. They devised the whole thing themselves with my help, using lots of skills. They also added music into that. If you're doing about rainforest, obviously there's lots of opportunities for music, for songs that are to do with rainforest, for making their own instruments. There's all different ways we can link into that curriculum.
It sounds incredibly fun. Do the children even realise that they're learning?
I think sometimes, yeah, it's often, you know, it's a very fun time, and you can see, particularly me as a mentor when I'm observing specialists working in schools, it's a real joy to see from the outside, to see that enjoyment of the children and that spark that they feel when they come into their classroom. I think there's a real sense of magic there that our specialists...
Because passive learning can be quite boring, can't it, and sort of brings the children's barriers up, but you're really breaking that down and inspire them in a lot of ways. You must see their confidence levels really shoot up as well.
I think so, and we often see that. I've certainly, when I've worked with children over a year, or in some schools I've been there for a number of years, you know, I can think of individuals whose confidence really grew, and they did things their class teacher thought they'd never be able to do. And often it's nice for the class teacher to see their children in a different context and to see all the skills that they never knew they had coming to light.
There's some very high profile both founders and supporters of Artis Education as well. Tell us a little bit more about those as well, if you will.
We've been very lucky to have those people supporting us from the beginning. Obviously Dave Putnam and Michael Beechard have been patrons, and they helped set up the whole thing. And we have people such as Evelyn Glennie, who's a famous percussionist, and Nitin Sawhney on our board of advisors. So they've sort of been through it, been with us right from the beginning, helping set up the whole training programme that we do with our specialists.
And this is in 5 years.
Yes, that's it.
A very relatively
it's
small.
All been,
and the successes have been huge, haven't they? I mean, in terms of Ofsted figures in relation to the schools that Artis have been part of, have been incredible, haven't they?
Yes, it's really helped improve things, because obviously we're delivering a performing arts curriculum in line with the classroom curriculum, but it's the underlying things that are happening in every session that are going on all the time, the listening skills, the communication, the teamwork, being able to speak confidently for a child. All of those things, I think, contribute to improving the whole ethos of the school.
Fantastic.
It's amazing. Do you wish you were almost back at school now? It's learning in a completely different way.
It's
Everyone learns
making it
differently.
fun, and that is, you know, when you don't even realise you're learning, that's when you really can reach the children, isn't it? It's, you know,
definitely.
that is really when you capture their enthusiasm, when you get them working as a team as well. I think it's fantastic.
Well, you were talking as well, Cordelia, about the confidence. I mean, to be honest, you'll never believe it now, but I was a very, very shy, retiring boy in the classroom.
What happened?
But I had aspirations, and I made it in the end. But actually, as a small child, I never believed that I would be sat here on television on this sofa some 22 years later, maybe a few more, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
This really builds confidence in youngsters from a very early start.
What about the parents? Are you getting positive feedback from them? Obviously they're going to notice a huge difference at home. It's one thing to make a difference to a child in the classroom, but perhaps when they're coming home, is their confidence built? Are they coming home full of stories to tell the parents?
We've really felt that actually, and it's lovely if you can catch parents at the end of school and they make comments about, I can't believe my child's doing this, you know, she never would do this normally at home, and it's a real joy, that I think, definitely, and that's what our specialists are very good at tapping into, going across the learning styles, finding a child who learns in a different way, perhaps in a more kinesthetic way or a different way from they might learn normally in the classroom, and bringing that out. So
Cordelia, thank you so much for joining us. I'm sorry we have run out of time. We could talk about this for ages. So we've got the website address on the screen there for us as well. If you want to know more, it's artiseducation.com to find out more. Cordelia, thanks so much for joining us.